There's a lot of work at race that needs to be done in the country, and it just hasn't been done, as recent evidence shows. And so I think it's a lot to put on the president's plate to say that he alone should be the one to calm the fears of white America and address the agenda singularly on behalf of African Americans.
While it may indeed be unfair to hold one man responsible for the state of racial relations in America, there's no doubt that when Barack Obama was elected, an overwhelming majority of people were confident things positively had to get better during his administration. Numbers say they haven't, and not everyone agrees with the numbers. He's a nationally syndicated talker on radio and TV through his program The Right Side, a veteran political commentator, writer, and author, considered to be one of the most recognizable conservative voices in America. Pleasure to welcome Armstrong Williams back to MidPoint. Armstrong, good to see you again.
Hello there.
Here we are looking at the numbers right now. USA Today's survey released on Tuesday said that more than half the people in America disapprove of the president when it comes to racial relations, and there would seem to be, many people indicate, worsening racial relations in this country. You don't agree. Why?
Well, listen, whatever is reflected back to us in terms of how we interact, how far we've come, the progress, whether we're involved in the most intimate moments of our lives, says more about us than the White House or anyone else. I think that you have to ask yourself, can the government legislate the heart? Can the government force people, no matter how many laws and regulations that are passed, to trust each other, to be there for each other, to be thy brother's keeper? No, it's not something the government can do. When children are born in this world, if you look at children playing together, they could care less about the race, gender of that child. They play together because they're all the same. But yet they grow up, they listen to their parents' experiences, they listen to their parents' words, they look at their parents' example, and something happens to that child where they embrace that biblical quote that I am my brother's keeper, instead of dividing and pulling away from their brothers, seeming they're different because of what they look like, based on their ancestry or whatever. And so I think whatever's going on in this country, it's more of a deeper a reflection about who we are. But I also saith that 85% of us have moved beyond judging people based on these false and skin deep aspects like race and gender.
However, Armstrong, that's not what the stats say. That's not what a lot of the studies say. And also, wouldn't you agree that government does have an influence, though, on how people treat each other in a racial sense?
What do I care about government studies? They can put together any study to get whatever agenda and whatever results they're trying to perpetrate on the American people. Just because the government put out some study doesn't mean that we have to be...
Well, it wasn't a government study, actually. It was a USA Today.
Whoever puts it out doesn't mean I have to believe that. I mean, obviously I don't, but still, the government does have a role to play in terms of the Constitution, the laws on the books, that justice is blind and no one should get a pass because of their wealth, because of their family name. We should be treated according to the law. That's how government can make a difference.
Then why does most of America, or at least half of America in this poll, believe that the relationship between black and white has gotten worse since Barack Obama was elected?
If you look at any culture, whether it's Jewish, whether it's Irish Americans, and many American blacks in this country, and you think about where they come from, you think about their history, and you think what they've been able to do in the United States to make it their footstool. Why? Because they did not, while they realized that they were disenfranchised at one time, they did not allow the government to break down their family. They did not allow the government to become their role models. They did not allow the government to decide how much you're going to eat today, how many babies you're going to have tomorrow, whether the father's going to be in the household next year.
Then if Michael Steele indicated, as he did, that President Obama was not solely responsible, which you're saying right here, then who is responsible then for this division? It is. Would you then disagree that it's become a Grand Canyon-esque rift at times between blacks and whites in America in so many instances?
I'm going to shock you.
Please.
I blame the very people who find themselves in that quandary, who believe that the government was the be-all to all things, that allowed the government to become their parents, become their nanny, become their education, become their job, become their welfare. Anytime you concede everything to the government and this warm drug of low expectations, what do you expect to happen? They have no one to blame but themselves. If they break away from that government plantation mentality and realize that they need to gain back their self-worth, their self-esteem, their work ethic, their discipline, then the world around them will begin to change.
Are you saying that Black America then is lazy?
I'm saying it is not an issue of laziness. It's an
Well, it
issue
would
of
seem to
anyone.
be if they're allowing the government to basically take over, that would seem to be that they're pretty lazy. If you would
use the
indicate
term.
that.
You use the term lazy.
I'm
I
asking
use
you
the
if you
term,
would call it that.
I am not going to address that. It is about a personal responsibility and accountability. It is about what you want to become in life. Do you want to give your life to the government to run, or do you want to live it yourself? Do you believe the government is better at running your life and taking care of your family than you are? I call it conceding your own self-worth and succeeding who you are as a human being.
Then
Those
how
are
do
your
we
responsibilities.
then how do we then and how do you then suggest that we get Black America then, in your opinion, to stop conceding that and move forward?
Less government and less government programs in their lives.
When you talk about less government programs, be specific.
Programs that rewards women, they get more money if they have babies. Government that allows people to be on a program, not temporarily, but as long as they want to, as long as you abide by certain guidelines that the government put in place. A government that allows you to think that you're getting something for nothing and to understand that there's nothing that's free in the society. Listen, a government that is big enough to give you everything, they're big enough to take it away. I think there's some simple things that people can do. You look at others who've been on the government and who's broken away. You look at other generations that have been in the
Then how do
very
they break
same
away? I've
quagmire.
got 40 seconds left. How do they break away?
Getting back to self-reliance, getting back to a two-parent household, getting back to value in education, and getting back to making sacrifice and respecting money and being thrift and valuing your neighbors and build your community together, because you cannot build it separate and apart.
In your opinion, is the Black community ready to do that?
You see it every day. You see many American Blacks. That's why I said in the beginning, you see them doing it every day. There's an example that they've realized the American dream, and their realization of the American dream is no different than the Jews, the many whites, the many Asians in this country. You got to take that bull mighty horn, and you got to run that bull, and you got to run your destiny. No one can run that race from you, because when somebody else runs that race, you're denied the experiences. You're denied the value of doing something for yourself and realizing I did this all by myself. And you pass that self-esteem, you pass that confidence that you're able to do it, you pass that on to your
All right,
children.
there we go. We're out of time. Armstrong Williams, wonderful to talk to you. Thank you so much, sir. We'll do it again, and MidPoint continues.